Ever wonder how your bag of Lay's chips goes from potato to party in your bowl? Well, buckle up. We're taking a trip inside the Lay's factory, where they use over 200 million pounds of potatoes every day. No, that's not a typo. It's not magic, just tons of spuds, high-tech machines, and enough salt to make your taste buds dance. Let's see how these potatoes become the crunchy obsession we can't stop munching on. Ever wondered where those tasty Lay's potato chips come from? It all starts in some pretty special farms. These aren't your average potato patches. Lay's works with farms that grow the perfect chip-making spuds. What makes these farms so special? Let's take a little trip to potato paradise. These farms are all about creating the ideal conditions for potato growing. The farmers are like potato scientists, working hard to get everything just right. Months before the potatoes even go in the ground, they're already busy. They're tilling the soil, adding special nutrients, and making sure everything's perfect for those future chips. It's like they're setting up a 5-star hotel for potatoes. Now, here's where things get really cool. These farms use some fancy tech to water their potatoes. They've got these smart drip irrigation systems that send water right to the roots of the plants. It's like each potato plant has its own personal water bottle. This clever way of watering helps the potatoes grow just right without wasting any water. The potatoes are in the ground, getting their perfect amount of water and growing like crazy. But when do they become chips? Well, that's where the waiting game comes in. It takes about 90 to 120 days before these spuds are ready to be dug up. When harvest time rolls around, they bring in the big machines. These harvesting machines are like potato detectives. They dig up the potatoes and start sorting them right away. Any bad potatoes get tossed out faster than you can say chip, but the potato inspection doesn't stop there. Once these taters make it to the Lay's factory, they go through another round of checks. It's like potato boot camp. The factory has super smart scanners that look at every single potato. And there are people checking them too, just to make extra sure. Now, Lay's is pickier than a kid eating vegetables when it comes to potatoes. Only spuds between 4 to 9 centimeters make the cut. It's like a jeweler selecting precious stones. Each potato is carefully examined for its shape, size, and quality. The best potatoes are hand-picked at dawn when they're at peak flavor, ensuring only the cream of the crop becomes your favorite chips. But what happens to all those rejects? Don't worry, Lay's doesn't let them go to waste. Some become compost, helping to grow more potatoes in the future. Others become tasty treats for farm animals. So even the reject potatoes get to be useful. After all this picking and choosing, how many potatoes actually make it to become chips? Well, Lay's keeps that exact number a secret, but let's just say it's not every potato that gets the golden ticket. Only the very best spuds make it through this potato pageant to become the chips we all know and love. You won't believe what happens when those chosen potatoes finally make it to the factory. It's like they've won a ticket to the world's fanciest potato spa. But don't think these spuds are in for a relaxing day. They're about to get the scrubbing of their lives. Let's peek inside as the trucks pull up to the factory. The potatoes tumble out, still covered in dirt from their time in the fields. Lay's isn't about to let a little dirt stop them from making the perfect chip. It's time for these potatoes to get squeaky clean. Now you might think washing a potato is simple. Just run it under some water, right? Well, not when you're dealing with millions of potatoes a day. Lay's has to think bigger, much bigger. Check out these massive washing machines. They're like giant jacuzzis for potatoes. But instead of bubbles and relaxation, these spuds are in for a wild ride. The potatoes get dumped into these huge bunkers, where the first stage of cleaning begins. It's not just about getting rid of dirt. They're also looking to remove any sprouts or other bits that don't belong. But wait, there's more than just dirt to worry about. Remember those pesky rocks that sometimes sneak into bags of potatoes at the grocery store? Lay's has to deal with those too. They've got special equipment that separates stones and other debris from the potatoes. It's like a potato rock sorting machine. Now let's look at the different stages of cleaning. It's pretty cool how thorough they are. First up, high-pressure water jets blast away the loose dirt. It's like a car wash, but for potatoes. Then comes the brushing stage. Did you know they use special brushes to scrub each potato? It's true, these aren't your average kitchen scrubbers. They're designed to get into every nook and cranny of the potato's skin. But Lay's isn't satisfied with just one wash. Oh no, these potatoes go through multiple cleaning stages. After the initial wash, They head to special baths for round 2. This time, the focus is on getting rid of those tiny bits of peel that might be hanging on. They want these potatoes perfectly smooth before they move on to become chips. The cleaning process is getting more intense. What could possibly be left to do? Well, Lay's has one more trick up their sleeve. The final wash is so thorough that the potatoes come out looking like they've never seen a speck of dirt in their lives. They're so clean you could eat off them. But don't, we're not done yet. Now, you might be wondering about all this water use. After all, washing millions of potatoes must take a lot of H2O, right? Well, Lay's has thought of that too. Many of their factories use recycling systems to minimize waste. It's all part of their commitment to sustainability. Pretty cool, huh? Ready for some potato acrobatics? Those clean spuds are about to lose their jackets in the most impressive way. You might think peeling potatoes is a chore, but Lay's has turned it into a high-speed spectacle. As the washed potatoes roll into the peeling area, you'd be amazed at the sheer number they handle. But here's the tricky part. Peeling millions of potatoes isn't as simple as it sounds. Take off too much and you're wasting precious potato. Leave too much on and you'll end up with skin in your chips. Yuck! So how does Lay's tackle this potato predicament? With some seriously cool machines, that's how. Picture this. Giant rollers covered in a rough surface. Kind of like sandpaper on steroids. As the potatoes tumble over these rollers, the friction gently scrapes away the skin. It's like a potato merry-go-round, but instead of fun rides, these spuds are getting the ultimate exfoliation treatment. But wait, there's more. After the potatoes lose their skins, they get another wash. Wondering why? Well, the peeling process can leave behind tiny bits of skin and release some starch. This extra rinse ensures that every potato is squeaky clean before the next big step. Now, here comes the really cool part, the slicing show. The peeled and washed potatoes head to machines that are basically potato guillotines. These slicers are precision instruments, designed to cut hundreds of potatoes per minute. But here's the kicker. Each slice has to be unbelievably thin. We're talking paper thin here, folks. You might be thinking, does it really matter how thick the slices are? Oh boy, does it ever! The thickness of each slice can make or break the perfect chip. If they're too thick, you end up with a chewy mess. Too thin, and they'll burn to a crisp in the fryer. Lay's has it down to a science. Each slice needs to be between 1 to 3 millimeters thick. That's thinner than a credit card. These slicing machines are so precise, they can cut a single potato into about 25 perfect slices. That's a lot of potential chips from just one spud. But the process isn't over yet. After slicing, guess what happens? Yep, you guessed it. Another wash. At this point, you might be wondering if Lay's is running a potato spa instead of a chip factory. But there's a good reason for all this washing. The slicing process releases even more starch from the potatoes. Washing it away ensures that the slices don't stick together and helps create that perfect crispy texture we all love in our chips. So, let's recap this potato transformation. We started with clean, whole potatoes. They got peeled by rotating on friction rollers, washed again to remove any leftover skin bits, precision sliced into super thin pieces, and then washed one more time to rinse away the excess starch. It's like a potato assembly line, but in reverse, we're taking apart the potato bit by bit. Now it's time for the main event, the frying frenzy. This is where our potato slices transform into those crispy chips we all know and love. Picture this, a massive fryer filled with hot oil, ready to give our potato slices the ultimate spa treatment. It's like a potato water park, but instead of water slides, we've got oil slides. Frying isn't just about tossing potatoes into hot oil and calling it a day. There's a whole science behind it. Lay's keeps the oil sizzling at exactly 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 176 degrees Celsius for our metric friends. This temperature is just right for creating that perfect crunch. Watch those potato slices take a dip. They ride on a special conveyor through the oil for about 3 to 4 minutes. It's like a lazy river ride, but way hotter and way crispier. Cool revolving paddles in the fryers act like tiny potato lifeguards, making sure our slices don't stick together and get a nice even tan. Different chip flavors might need slightly different fry times to get that perfect taste and texture. It's all part of the chip-making magic. After their oil bath, the chips are still a bit too oily. So what happens next? The freshly fried chips cruise along special conveyors that help drain off that excess oil. It's like a potato chip water slide, but instead of splashing into a pool, they're sliding towards crispy perfection. Lay's uses fancy moisture meters to check if the chips are fried just right. It's like a final exam for the chips. If they pass, they move on. If they're undercooked, sorry chips, you might be heading to the compost bin. Lay's is serious about quality. Both high-tech gadgets and human inspectors make sure each batch of chips is up to snuff. They check for things like color and texture. It's like a beauty pageant for potato chips, but instead of a crown, the winners get to be in your snack bowl. Let's talk about that distinctive crunch. As the potato slices swim in the hot oil, the water inside them evaporates. It's like the potatoes are sweating out all their moisture, leaving behind that crispy texture we love so much. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. We started with whole potatoes, and now we've got these golden crispy chips. But we're not done yet. The chips might be crispy, but they're not quite ready for your taste buds. Next time you crunch on a Lay's chip, remember the intricate blend of art, science and care behind every bite. You're now part of an exclusive group who's seen behind the curtain of this everyday snack. It's like you've got a VIP pass to the world of chip making. Why not share this insider knowledge with your friends? It might just change the way they see their next bag of chips. Look at those golden chips coming out of the fryer. They're crispy and delicious, but they're not quite ready for your taste buds yet. It's time for the seasoning secret that makes Lay's chips so irresistible. As the chips roll out of the fryer, they head straight into the seasoning zone. Lay's has a cool solution for seasoning millions of chips without making a mess. They use giant revolving drums that look like something out of a science fiction movie. These drums are like big chip tumblers, keeping the chips moving, so they all get a chance to catch some flavor. Seasoning chips is tricky business. You need to get it just right. Too much seasoning, and you'll be reaching for water after every bite. Too little, and you might as well be eating plain chips. Lay's has to find that perfect balance to make every chip a flavor-packed delight. Let's check out how they do it. As the chips tumble in these big drums, precision sprayers come into action. These sprayers shower the chips with seasoning. It's like a disco party for chips, with seasoning instead of glitter. Here's a cool fact. The oil on the chips from frying helps the seasoning stick. It's like the chips are wearing a tiny flavor jacket. This oily surface is key to making sure every chip gets its fair share of tastiness. Lay's doesn't use the same method for every flavor. Some flavors need extra help to stick around. For garlic, tomato, and paprika, they use a special trick. These chips get an extra coating with a powder made from chopped vegetables, monosodium glutamate, and flavors that taste just like the real deal. You might wonder, how do they make sure every chip tastes the same? Lay's has smart engineers who figured out how to control the seasoning just right. They make sure each batch has the perfect amount of flavor, so you never get a dud chip in your bag. Even with all this high-tech seasoning magic, Lay's doesn't just trust the machines. They've got a team of human taste testers who sample chips throughout the day. These lucky folks munch on chips and make sure they're up to snack. They check for flavor, texture, and that perfect crunch we all love. Lay's makes tons of different flavors, and some are only found in certain countries. Can you imagine chips that taste like porcini mushrooms with sour cream, or lightly salted cucumbers? These unique flavors show how Lay's tries to make chips that everyone will love, no matter where they live. After the seasoning party, the chips go through one last check. Lay's uses laser-guided scanners to look for any chips that aren't up to snack. These scanners are like chip detectives, searching for things like burned edges or weird colors. Any chip that doesn't make the cut doesn't end up in your bag. But don't worry, these reject chips become treats for farm animals instead. Those perfect chips have passed the laser test, but their journey isn't over yet. Wonder why your chip bag feels like it's about to pop? There's a secret ingredient inside that's not meant for eating. Let's check out the final step that makes sure your chips arrive fresh and crunchy every time. The packaging process is where all the magic happens to keep those chips safe and tasty. Look at these amazing packaging machines. They're super fast, working at lightning speed to get those crispy treats into their shiny homes. These machines can package millions of chips in a single day. Blink and you might miss it. Here's something cool. Each bag gets weighed before it's sealed. The machines have built-in scales to make sure you're getting exactly what you paid for. No more feeling shortchanged when you open a bag that seems a little light. Ever noticed how chip bags are kind of puffy? That's not just air in there. The folks at Lay's use a special trick to keep your chips fresh and crispy. They fill the bags with nitrogen gas. It's like giving your chips their own personal atmosphere to hang out in. This nitrogen blanket keeps the chips from getting stale and protects them from getting crushed during their journey to your snack drawer. Let's talk about that satisfying pop when you open a bag of chips. The machines seal each bag super tight using heat. It's like they're giving the bag a big warm hug that keeps all the goodness locked inside. This tight seal is crucial for keeping your chips fresh and stopping any unwanted air from sneaking in. Now it's time for the bags to get their tattoos. The packaging machines print important info on each bag, like batch codes and expiration dates. It's like each bag is getting its own unique ID. This step is super important for keeping track of the chips and making sure you're always getting the freshest snack possible. But hold on, we're not done yet. Lay's takes quality control seriously. After the chips are weighed and bagged, they go through one last test. Each bag passes through a metal detector. It's like airport security, but for your snacks. This step makes sure there's nothing in your bag that shouldn't be there. Safety first, right? Finally, it's time for the chips to leave the nest. The finished bags are carefully placed into boxes, ready for their big journey to stores all over. These boxes are like cozy hotels for the chips, protecting them during their travels so they arrive at the stores in perfect condition. Now you know all the steps that go into making sure your favorite snack is fresh, crispy, and safe to eat. Wow, what a journey Lay's chips go through! From farm to factory to your fingertips, it's quite the process. Lay's churns out millions of these crispy snacks every day to keep up with our cravings. No wonder they're such a staple in American homes. Next time you're munching on some Lay's, take a second to appreciate all the work that went into that bag. From carefully picked potatoes to high-tech slicing and frying, there's a whole world of cool stuff happening behind the scenes. And hey, all this chip talk is making me hungry. Who's up for a snack break? I hear a bag of Lay's calling my name.